Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Anoushka and today I'll be showing you a step-by-step beginner's makeup tutorial, and if you are new to makeup, you're gonna love it. And if you are a pro, you can watch this video and leave me some tips on how you do your makeup. And yeah, just let's get into this video because this video is gonna be a long one and I'll be explaining everything that I do, and these techniques are mine and they work for me and they might not work for you, but you may want to give it a try. And yeah, without further ado, please subscribe to my channel and like this video and share this video and comment below anything. If you like this video, comment below and let's get into the video. Guys, so my first tip for anyone who is a beginner to makeup is to always clean your face. And I don't mean just washing, but clean, like shave your face or whatever you do, threading, whatever works for you. Like, when you have like really clean canvas and with no grains, it just works really good. Similarly, your face is a canvas and you need to work on it when it's the cleanest. If you don't prefer threading or anything, it's okay, but majority of the time when your makeup looks cakey, it's because you have some hair underneath it. So my first tip is to get rid of your hair. I just shaved my face and it looks really clean. I also did my eyebrows. That's why it's really clean, and squeaky clean face means clean makeup, no cakey makeup. And that is my first tip to you all. The second step is to always moisturize, and a good moisturizer is like your makeup blessing, because it makes the whole difference. I don't know, I rave about moisturizers a lot because especially in winters when you're doing your makeup, if your makeup looks flaky or anything like that, it's because your skin is dry, and makeup creates a barrier between your moisturizer creates a barrier between your makeup and your skin. And I think my skin is pretty healthy, and I moisturize a lot, so I think my key secret is to moisturize. Now, a lot of people skips this step, but it's totally up to you. A lot of people who are really good in makeup like don't use primer, and it's okay, it's up to them, but I really love a primer, and this is the e.l.f. Tone adjusting primer. As you can see, I'm pretty yellow and I use this primer because it sets like yellow tone, it neutralizes yellow tone, so I use this primer and yeah, I love it. Now, if you're someone who is not okay with using primer, it's fine. You don't have to use it. It's not a necessary step. But please moisturize. If you have dry skin, you can totally go for a dewy primer. If you have oily skin, you can go for a matte primer. And if you have like a skin problem like me, I feel like I look really yellow. That's why I use a tone adjusting primer. So you might have hyperpigmentation, you can use a orange primer for that. And K-Beauty has some really good like tone adjusting primers, even Nykaa, so you can totally go for them. The next step is foundation. Now I'm gonna do one side with a beauty blender and another side with a brush, and I'm going to show you the type of brush I personally use for my foundation. Everybody uses different techniques and different makeup tools to do their base. Now I'm going to show you one foundation shade, which is this one, which looks like, it looks really yellow on me, to be very honest, and I have yellow tone, so it's good. And I'll show you another foundation on me which looks really light, and yeah, let's blend them out and see how they look. Now this one looks obviously really white, and this one looks like it's gonna be my shade, but it is too oily. So what I usually do is I mix both of these foundations together, and they like make a perfect kind of a shade for me. So yeah, I'm gonna do that only, and I don't know why I'm blending the foundation on my face, but let me just use both the foundation, actually mix both the foundation. I use the yellow one more and the lighter one a little bit like less, so that it neutralizes the primer, neutralizes the foundation. I don't know how to speak. Okay, let's blend with a beauty blender. Now with the beauty blender, I always this is not a beauty blender, actually beauty sponge. It's a Calabar sponge, and I love this sponge because see, it's good, and it's always use a wet sponge. You can see it's wet, it's not dry, because wet sponge doesn't absorb a lot of product, and as compared to dry sponge, it's gonna absorb a lot of product, and also it's not gonna give a good base. So let's start with this one. I didn't apply a lot of foundation. Also, another thing, people apply a lot of foundation because they want a lot of coverage, but it also makes your like face look cakey. So I'm gonna show you how to get good coverage with less foundation. Now you can see here I'm using a dabbing motion rather than dragging the product, which gives a beautiful coverage, and I'm also covering my neck. You can see the difference between this side and this side, and you can see that this side looks really good, and I just love using a beauty sponge, but I prefer using a brush. So now let's do the other side with a brush, and yeah. Again, I'm applying the mixed product to my face, and I'm gonna work in parts when I'm using a brush. So I use this brush for my foundation. I know it looks like really weird because people use a round kabuki brush, but I love using this brush. It's dense, but it's not too dense, okay? And it blends my foundation really well. I always start from the bottom and then I reach to the top. I mean the parameters of the face, because yeah, that's how you know that your sides are blended, because sides are the part we usually tend to miss. So again, as you can see, I'm dabbing the product into my skin rather than dragging it. Now dragging the foundation would create brush streaks. So my foundation is all done. As you can see, it looks really good. It looks really even, and there are no brush strokes because I use the dabbing motion and the round motion instead of dragging the product. So that is one thing that you can do. If you if you have brush streaks, that means you're dragging the product rather than dabbing it, and using this round motion to actually have the product on your face. Okay, let's move to concealer. So I use two concealers, which is I think everyone does now. So this concealer is like my shade, and this concealer is 2 shades lighter. So I'm gonna use this concealer around my mouth and around my eye bags, and then I'm gonna apply just a tad bit of this concealer under my eyes. Another good concealer technique is to sit for like 30 to 40 seconds and let your concealer dry up, because when your concealer dries up, it's gonna give more coverage and you're gonna use less product. So it's a win-win situation. It's actually a win-win-win situation. But yeah, so you can just just wait for like 30 to 40 seconds and let it dry. I do my brows mostly while I wait for this. So let's do my brows. So I'm using this e.l.f. brow pencil, and I'm actually not showing the products I'm using, I guess, but it's okay. So yeah, what I do is I just drag one line. I'm gonna look myself into a mirror because it's difficult to do something without a mirror. So I'm just drawing a line, like just under this. I'm just drawing a line, and I'm drawing a line the top as well, and just filling in. So I think I have good amount of brow hair, so I don't do much to my brows. But if you have like a lot of if you have like less brow hairs, I think you should watch like a brow tutorial, because I've never needed to do like draw my whole brows, because I already have a good amount of brows. So again, drawing 2 lines. And now on this brow, I have some less hair, so I draw the upper arch too. So both my brows are done, and let's blend the concealer out. Now one side I'm gonna use a brush and the other side I'm gonna use a sponge. So let me use the sponge on this side. Now for my concealer, I like to use a fluffy brush like this, which is quite dense, I know some people prefer using a different kind of a brush. Some people prefer using this angled kind of a brush, but I prefer using this. So whatever suits for you, you should definitely try, different makeup tools before you, like commit to one. But I love using this brush. So guys, that's the reason I prefer using a brush rather than using a beauty sponge. You can see the coverage a brush gives you, and it's not streaky or anything like that, but I use the same amount of product, okay, and I use the same product. It's not like I'm using a full coverage concealer and I'm using a bad concealer over this side. It just makes a lot of difference. I'm gonna draw this just till here, okay, so you're not able to see it like till here, just till here. And yeah, I don't contour my forehead, but this line only. And let's use a sponge. I'm gonna start from the back. That is my this side totally blended, and also I'm gonna do some blush. So I'm not using cream blush. I'd never use cream blush. I'm gonna use my lipstick as my blush. This is something that I love to do, and it makes like everything really cohesive. That's why. A cream product that I love using is a liquid highlighter. I just broke this bottle like literally 5 seconds before filming this video. Let's see, I just use one drop of it, and I just use my fingers, to be very honest. It looks it gives such a healthy glow, and yeah, I love using liquid products. That's it. Now let's do powdering and let's use some brushes. So I'm gonna do my powdering. I don't do baking. I just apply a little bit of baking powder under my eyes with a beauty sponge. I take a lot of powder. I'm gonna dab the excess and just do this, and also on the top around my smile lines. And I do one thing that I love doing is this line. Let's take a little bit more and do a precise line, because it makes like a very lifted look. You can see the difference like literally on camera. But yeah, let's do the powder side with a brush. Now I like to use this flat kind of a brush, and I apply powder like this. I tap the powder to my concealer, to my smile lines, and also let's not forget the forehead and my nose. That's my whole powder thing done, but I use a brush and dust off the excess. What the hell is excess? Dust off the excess powder. You can see this side is like my go-to side because it looks really healthy, but I use brush for everything on this side, but it's my go-to. Yeah, so let's start with a bronzer. So this is my bronzer from Sugar, and this is my bronzing brush. So it's an angled brush. I need to clean my brush desperately. So let's start bronzing. I always start from the back and then I move forward. And I'm tapping the product because I'm gonna blend it like this later on. I love using bronzer, but it's more summer. appropriate, so I don't use a lot of bronzer in winters. Now let's apply some blush. I'm gonna use the same. No, I'm not using one. I'm not gonna use the same. I'm gonna use a fluffy brush like this and take a bronzer shade. Take a blush shade. What I'm saying? What am I saying? And apply it like this. Like 1, 2. I hope you guys are understanding. Like, I don't know if I'm like teaching makeup that much as I'm enjoying doing it, but yeah. So always apply your bronzer from the back and then reach the front, and your blush over the bronzer. I know some people tend to smile and then apply blush, but I apply blush on my high cheek point area and it makes all the difference. And now at this point in time, when I've applied all the products except this sides highlighter, I love to set my face because my face looks really powdery. If you have combination skin and your face looks really powdery at this point after you have powdered your face, go for a dewy setting spray. Okay, go for a dewy setting spray. So I'm just gonna spray my face, and yeah, now this part I love to do with a sponge only, because brush can really create streaks if you dab the product, and this gives a really healthy glow to my face so I don't look too dry or too oily. Now if this was a summer makeup look, I would have definitely used a matte a setting spray, but it would have given me moisture because it's a spray, it has water in it, so it's gonna give you glow anyways. Now let's do some highlighting. Now the brush that I showed you guys that people usually use for concealer because it reached there, I love to use highlighter with it because it fits my cheekbone. It's like the Fenty brush, like the Fenty highlighter brush they have. Yeah. Love this e.l.f. highlighter. It's like a really natural thing, but like it looks really natural and bam. So I love this highlighter, and even this one too. Like you can see the difference the products have between them just because of their consistency. But I love this side and this side too. And I always apply powder highlighter after I set my face because it just makes the highlighter pop even more. Also gonna apply a little bit on my nose, not taking any more powder but just highlighting the powder that is on the brush. And here is my liner. This is the Lakme one. I love using this liner. I'm just gonna do a simple winged liner. So let's do a simple winged liner. So the first step in any liner would be to just just draw your lash lines shape. So that's really simple, of course. So I just drawed my lash lines shape, and I have some excess liner. I love using this liner because it's really beginner friendly, to be very honest. I'm gonna do a separate video on beginners makeup, but now for the wing, what is the best technique? Just draw a dot. Okay, so I'm drawing a dot here. So I'm gonna extend my wing only till here, because once you start extending your wing, it's a never ending thing. Okay, so I'm just gonna join one line to my wing. Okay, then I'm gonna take a little bit more product and I'm gonna join the upper line, and I'm done. See, it was quite easy. I usually don't do this type of wing. What I'm gonna do is, now my eyes are hooded, so it's not looking like a wing. So what I am gonna do is, I'm gonna take the liner from here and drag it inside and then fill in. So that looks like a little bit better, and I'm gonna just perfect whatever is looking weird and everything. yeah, that's my liner. Let's do the other eye too. Done. So now that my eyeliner is done, I'm gonna do my lashes. And yeah, I love using mascara. So mascara is like my best friend. I'm always gonna be with mascara. And I also curl my lash. So I'm gonna curl my lash. Now one trick that I learned is always to curl your lash like this, 3-4 times, so that it gives the maximum curling. Now let's curl the other lash. After I've curled my lashes, I'm gonna use the mascara and only on the outer parts of my lashes, because this really, gives a good lift to your lashes. So let's do the lower lashes too. Now, one thing I love to do is apply a nude liner. The cap just flew off, but I love applying a nude liner. And if you're a beginner, you might do this if you're not doing anything to your lower lashes, because I remember when I was a beginner, I used to do nothing. So this is better than nothing. Done with mostly everything. What is left? Okay, now when I'm ending my makeup, I'm gonna do my lips obviously. So I always use a lip liner. Like this is like a must. Always use a lip liner. Sometimes I don't, but sometimes I do. But yeah, I use a lip liner. Again, another good lip tip is to always scrub your lips before, like maybe twice a week. Sometimes more if your lips are dry like mine. I love my lips like this. I don't know, some people might think it's too much, but I love it. And yeah, I think this is my finished makeup look and finished tutorial. I hope you found this helpful. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love doing this look because it's like so pretty, natural, and at the same time like really glowy. And I hope you learned something from this video. And yeah, subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much guys for, subscribing if you're already subscribed. Thank you so much for liking the video if I've already liked the video. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.